Yeah, welcome to day 4. It's been a fantastic event so far. I have just every single session has been really, really wonderful. And and we have another wonderful session to share with all of you out there. But before I do that, something I just realized this morning is the event was sold out. I didn't have any more seats, but then today's August 1st, so my license for Air Meet resets and now I have 1,000 seats available to me. I didn't realize that. I don't think I've ever done an event over the end of the month into a new month, but I was looking in there and I'm like, hey, we could fit more people in. So, you know, anybody that wants to sign up for this one, wants to attend live for the next couple of days, it's not sold out anymore. It's all open. So, yeah, just want to share that out there. Let folks know if you would like. All right. So, Alan Natachu, our speaker for this session. Alan has been a supporter for TLDC for years now. He's been to our live conference. He's just done a variety. I think I have a profile for him on the tldc.com website. He has always been focused on accessibility. Is a PowerPoint whiz, has done incredible things in this space. He's a media expert. He's one of those go-to folks in learning experience design that everyone should have in their LinkedIn connections. So make sure you connect with Alan if you can. Let me read you a little bio that we have for Alan. Alan Natachu is a learning and development professional with over 2 decades of experience. He pivoted from an artist career working with the likes of ABC and Disney and the Smithsonian to a training career where he was hired as a creative at Apple, working 2 years in a technology trainer role. Alan's work with Apple gave him the skills to be an extraordinary and innovative trainer for faculty and staff in higher ed. He spent a decade in the higher ed space before making the switch to corporate L&D in 2019. He is a presentation geek who loves emerging L&D technologies, films, and videos with closed captions, and is passionate for making all his content accessible. As of June 2024, he is in the job market seeking his next awesome opportunity. Any updates on that, Alan?
Still looking. Yeah, I took
Nice.
July kind of off to do family stuff, a lot of
Yeah.
cool family stuff.
Mhm.
And now I'm back at it.
Awesome. Excellent. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hide myself from the screen and let you take over. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
So, hello, everyone. Welcome to the importance of allyship. And a little bit more about me. Describe myself. I am a Native American male, long hair tied into a ponytail, wearing a purple necklace with a purple shell and inlay in a button-up black shirt. The avatar on screen is very similar, except the necklace. And yeah, I started my career a long time.
Don't worry. This is supposed to happen. I have a question for you. How can you know what I'm saying if you can't hear me? And how can you know what I'm trying to share with you if you can't see me?
And now, my last organization was Exact Sciences. I started school at the Institute of American Indian Arts. I had a lot of cool adventures there. But now I am looking for my next adventure. So if you know of anything, please send any information my way. So you may have noticed the title, The Importance of Allyship. Only I spelled ally #A11Y. Why is that important? Well, it's important because it's a hashtag shortener. If you take a look at the word accessibility, between the A and the Y, there are 11 characters. So rather than typing out accessibility, you could save space by typing out hashtag A11Y. So if you're looking for accessibility, nothing's popping up, you might try this hashtag. Now, but why accessibility? Today, I would like to go over 4 different whys. I want to talk about the people. I want to talk about the bottom line. I want to talk about the idea. And I want to talk about learning and learning from your mistakes. Let's get this show started. We're going to start off with the people. Now, there are different types of disabilities. we may have gone over this previously in the conference. If this is new to you, we're going to talk about 3 different types of disabilities. When people think about disabilities, they tend to think about permanent disabilities. The icon on the screen shows a person missing an arm, but there are actually 2 other types of disabilities. One is situational. In this icon, we see a mother holding a baby. You know, with a baby, you got to hold, you got to support. You can't really use the baby arm to open doors or do anything else. And the last type of disability is temporary. In this icon, we see a person who has a broken arm. Can't really use a broken arm for anything until that arm is properly healed. But now let's take a look at some numbers. I got this from the Microsoft Inclusive Toolkit, Inclusive 101. And for permanent disabilities, 26,000 people a year will be permanently disabled. And that adds on year after year. Temporary disabilities, 13 million people will be temporarily disabled this year. And situational, 8 million per year. That's a lot of people who have some type of disability, be it permanent, temporary, or situational. But given these numbers, we now know what we have to do. We have to be designing not for one, but we have to design for many. I'm going to turn it over to y'all. And I wonder, what examples do you have of permanent, temporary, or situational disabilities? Go ahead and write that in the chat. Temporary broken fingers, carry around babies. I miss my babies. One's 19, the other's 9. ADHD permanent, yep. Wrist pain, diminished sight. It's all right, I got you. Dilated eyes, I got you, Gabrielle. I see a lot that are coming up. Ooh, situational, studying beside a sleeping baby. Yeah, because you got to be quiet. Can't make a lot of noise. Some other things that we might think of, a bar, going in after work, hanging out with friends. It may be overwhelming. I get overwhelmed in public, loud places. So that to me, I just lose focus. And that's a situational thing for me. Temporary thing, maybe falling on your knee while trying to show off to your kids that you could still do Dance Dance Revolution. So thank you, everyone. Vision, knee glasses, severe sprain, work situations. Those are all good examples. So approximately 15% of the world's population, or more than 1 billion people, live with a disability. They are the world's largest minority and the only minority group anyone can become a member of at any time. Worldwide, 40% of people have a person with a disability in their immediate circle of friends and family. When you think about that, that's still a lot of people that we need to connect with, and we need to make sure that they can understand what we're trying to teach them. Now, if you're new to the accessibility game, you may be wondering, okay, what does it mean? The only minority you could become a member of any time. Well, let's do a little something. I almost said something. I'm going to still say it anyway, something. We're going to do a hearing age equivalency test. Now, I'm going to play back 5 different sounds. And when you cannot hear them anymore, I want you to hit the reaction button, either a clap, a heart, a party, whatever. I want to see how, at what point people stop hearing these different sounds. These are sounds at different kilohertz. All right, here we go. First one. Okay, a lot of people can hear that. It's going to get a little trickier. Here's the next one. Here we go. Got two more. And that's the last one. So, well, why did I do this? Well, I wanted to show you that as we age, our hearing gets affected. And it could be due to other factors such as age, working in loud environments, um, and maybe a lot of heavy music in your earphones. A lot of things could cause you to lose hearing. But as we age, this is a fact that we do lose how we hear to different sounds. Now, this is not a medical test. I am not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. But if you are concerned about your hearing, you should talk to your doctor about that, because this is an actual test, but the actual test is done under medical supervision and headphones and in a quiet room. It's actually pretty cool. Now, in the real world, we don't listen for these 5 specific sounds. You know, that would drive us nuts. At least it will drive me nuts. I can't speak for y'all. Well, when we have these 5 different sounds and we combine them with all the other sounds around us, we can hear something that's rather beautiful. And so about the people, our designs and output need to be accessible to meet the needs and reach the maximum number of learners possible. Are we all in agreement with that? Yeah. All right. Vibing, I hear you. So next we're going to talk about the bottom line. And we're going to talk about 3 buttons. Uh-oh. There we go. The yes, the maybe, and the no buttons. When you see these on screen, they have a check mark design across all 3 buttons. The yes button is green, the maybe button is yellow, and the no button is red. The colors represent the check marks on these buttons. Now, that's great and all. It's a really simple, nice design, but what does your learner see? There are 4 types of color blindness. I should have really studied up and know how to pronounce all these different names for color blindness. But in the first column, that's normal vision. The second column is what happens when you can't see green. Third column, what happens when you can't see red. And the last column, very rare, when you can't see blue. Now, those who can't see green, those who can't see red, the buttons look very similar. And they'll have a hard time figuring out, okay, what's what. And if you don't know what the buttons are, you can't participate, you can't advance in the e-learning or whatever it is that you're developing for these people. Now, color blindness affects 8% of people, 8% of the male population and 0.5% of the female population. This doesn't seem like a lot, but let's see how we can break this down. Excuse me one second. Miss Sugar Whiskers, what are you doing? All right. So let's assume that we got a 50-50 split of people working for you or working in a company that you're working at, and you develop this. How many people would be affected by the lack of accessibility design on those buttons? Well, 2 people, 2 males, 0 females. That doesn't seem like a lot. But once we get going, once we get growing and going into larger organizations, things get kind of hectic. 200 people, 16 male employees would be affected, 1 female employee would be affected. Now let's go multinational. 5,000 employees, 400 male employees would be affected. 50 female employees would be affected. Now, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of people power. That's a lot of humans, everyone. Well, that's a lot of humans who cannot participate in this e-learning because the buttons don't show them what's what. They can't accurately click yes, maybe, or no. Now, if you develop content for public facing, like tutorials or product demos or whatnot, that number is kind of nuts. Here in Dane County, where I live, we have approximately 423,000 people living here. Now, it is about split 50-50, give or take a point in either direction in terms of male and females here. But the potential number of males with color blindness is 33,840. And the potential females are with color blindness are 2,115. That's a lot. That's a lot of people missing out on your content. Okay, I'm gonna have to put you down. If we decide to keep those buttons as is, nothing is going to happen. No good is going to come from this. So let's change this up a little bit. We're going to still keep the color pattern, but let's change up our icons. We'll keep the green check mark for yes. We'll change the yellow check mark to a yellow question mark. And we'll for maybe, and we'll change the red check mark to a red X for no. Now we could see this works good. We could see that even without knowing the colors, we could choose which one we want to choose, yes, maybe, or no. The ultimate test is what happens when you remove all the colors. There is a color blindness. It's the rarest form where you can't see color. Everything is black and white and gray. So what do we learn from this? Failure to incorporate accessibility into our work prevents people from learning and advancing. Failure to incorporate accessibility into our work influences the bottom line. We had, in that example of the people, we had so many people who would be missing out just because we didn't practice accessible design. And that eats up a lot of time, eats up a lot of people's time, and that's just not good. So next I have an idea. This may have been brought up in previous sessions, but let's do a little refresher. You may have heard of DEI, which stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. We're missing something here. We're missing accessibility. Without bringing accessibility into DEI, we're not being inclusive in the discussion. We're not opening ourselves up to a diverse population. We're not allowing accessibility voices to be heard equally. So this is my idea. I don't claim it, but I live by it. Inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility. So how can we move from DEI to IDEA? Well, first, look into yourself and know your biases. I have astigmatism. I love movies. I play video games. I am a colon cancer survivor. I have ADHD, and I've had lifelong issues with mental health. Through my lens, my accessibility focus has been on closed captions, user interfaces, accessible documents, and advocacy. Now, I need to learn more about uh, speaking. I need to learn more about cognitive disabilities, and I need to learn more about um, accessible tools so that I can provide a better learning experience to everyone. So, what are things? I'm going to ask you a question. You can put it in chat. What are things that you focus on in your accessible work? Are they guided by need, or are they guided by something uh, more than that? Go ahead and put that in chat. Oh, I'll say the question again. Sorry. So, know your biases. My biases are vision, entertainment, and advocacy. Now, that's how I got into accessibility work. I need to know what I need to. I need to know more about other things such as uh, speaking and cognitive disabilities and accessible technology to help people learn. What are things that you need to learn more about to help you become a more effective developer, trainer? You're welcome. See, Andrea says, guided by a sense of justice. Karen says, learning from those with lived experiences. Bernadette, all of it. uh, Cognitive issues, be able to be an advocate, better advocate. And user interaction, that's a big one. I've been saying click a lot. I should be really saying select because some people may not operate a mouse. They may be operating something else. And maybe this is what I'm developing is being developed for a mobile device. You don't click, you tap. So you say select. Justice and cognitive disabilities, cognitive disability design. All right, excellent. Now, thank you for sharing. Now, I don't have a solution because I am one person. To pull off the transformation from DEI to IDEA, we need a lot more people than me just talking about this. Everyone, right now, viewing this, either live or in the future, can help make this happen. We need to bring in people who are willing to talk about their disabilities and provide guidance on how to provide the best learning experience for them. This in turn will help us provide the best learning experience for many more learners. And if we can't find a people, then we have to do our research. We have to learn how a screen reader works, how cognitive disability and ADHD play into presentation design. Even learn about accessibility culture. Deaf culture is phenomenal. You should check out Deaf TikTok if you want to learn more. And most of all, you got to keep accessibility first in your designs. So, what do we take away from this? DEI initiatives can become stronger if they transform into IDEA initiatives. I'm very big on tools. I love tools. I love working with programs. That is my strong point. And here are some things that you can learn. And I'm going to talk about some of the mistakes that I made in my accessibility journey. Now, earlier we did color blindness and we discussed how to watch your colors for buttons. But what about text? Here's the link to the video. Hope you enjoy it. The text is readable. My issue with this is the link. Hope you enjoy it. It's the same. That may be hard to read. It still works, but you got to watch it. We're teetering a fine line between readability and not readable. Another thing you can do to incorporate accessibility into your daily life, your daily work, is to keep messages short and concise. I did a session last year on, my cat's trying to jump from the ceiling, sorry, on this topic, keeping your words short and concise, using plain language. I'll see if I can find that link and post it into the chat when I'm done. Speaking of links, we need to embed our links. As we see in the example, this web link is hyperlinked. This web link will take you to a treasure trove of accessibility knowledge. Do not put in the link itself, because if a screen reader picks this up, this is what you'll hear.
https://1drb.ms/w/sxclamation point aolq-z p-d-r-s-q-m-n-l_e-emu_z9ia65.
Did you notice it didn't say capital A, capital Z? It just said A or Z. So without that knowledge, someone trying to type this in may not be able to visit this particular link. So what do you do instead? If you can, use a URL shortener service. I like to use tinyurl because it allows you to create custom URLs without paying for it, or allows you to create preview tiny URLs, which will take them to the tiny URL site and give you a preview of what's there. Some people are very skittish about clicking on these shortened URLs. I'm not one of those people, but if you are, you might want to check out tinyurl's preview option. Now, we should limit our emojis when we're responding to people or posting on social media. One emoji, not multiple emojis. Otherwise, it'll sound like this: crying face, yellow heart, 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 but only in that robotic tone. Maybe I should do a Siri-like thing and lend my voice out to the people in that way. That would be cool. All right, ADHD coming back. Next, we can learn better. We can learn to properly use our templates in our with our tools. We can learn how to create custom templates that are accessible, and we can learn the accessibility features of our software. That's next level stuff. Next, learn from your mistakes. I have 3 stories here, but I want to toss in a 4th. Podcasting. At my previous organization, I used to do podcast editing and transcripts. Now, I thought I was really cool about doing transcripts and putting in the time code for every 5 minutes. I would have put the person speaking, time code, speak, and whenever 5 minutes pass, if they spoke for more than 5 minutes, I'll put the time code there and keep going down. Thing is, it really breaks up the transcript, not in a good way. So I just learned to put the name of whoever's speaking, when they're speaking, and their text underneath. And their name and the time code are coded as headings so that someone could flip through them very fast. I do prefer to add paragraphs into my transcripts just so that it's easier to read for someone who wants to read it. But that's just a preference on me. And yeah, that's what I did. Captions. I did a one of my first accessibility AIDC presentations was on closed captioning. And I had said that TikTok videos with animated captions are a good way to incorporate accessibility into your workflow. I'm here to say that is not the case. Because those animated captions can distract people. They may not be accurate because they may be auto-generated, and they may not be well developed. Either really tiny fonts or really big fonts. There's no unification about those captions. So plain and simple captions work the best. In my journey of finding other employment, I got asked to submit a portfolio, which I did, but I also thought, this job description could use some work. And I went through, made it very accessible because they didn't use headings. There's no alt text on any of the pictures. At one point, they were listing criteria using tables versus bullets, and it was just all over the place. So I went ahead and thought, hey, let me show them what I could do with this. This is what I could bring to the table for this organization, and went ahead and did that and put that as part of the portfolio piece just for them. I don't use it for anywhere else. Well, I got a call back saying, we're sorry, we're going to go with another person. We like your skills, but we think your perfectionism will slow down the project that we want to get started on. I did not know what to do with that because I did not fully explain why I did it. I didn't explain in the document that you sent me. I spotted these accessibility errors. I redid the document. These are the specific areas that I addressed and why I addressed them. And this was important because so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. So I did not do that part. Sometimes you got to explain why we do this in order to get that buy-in. And lastly, I'm studying for my CPAC certification in, I'm totally forgetting that acronym. I should know it. I'm studying it. Anyway, it's a certification as accessible knowledge. And I tried running a study group. That did not go so well because ADHD minded would go all over the place, and I had a hard time scheduling things, and I couldn't get an effective group together, or I got an awesome group together. I wasn't an effective leader for that. So if you want to study up for this, there is several resources that you can do, that you can view, that will really help you out. And I'm not a study group person. This was the first time attempting it, and I will attempt it again, but with a different topic. All right, everyone. Thank you. You can find me on LinkedIn and on Instagram. Used to be on Twitter, but no more. If you got another cool social media site that I should use, please let me know. Now, open for questions.
Wow, Alan, thank you so much. I've got so many things to think about with that one. I'm going to have to actually make a doctor's appointment because I think I only heard that first. I only heard that first beep. I was like, uh-oh, I've been playing too much rock and roll. All right, so let me take a look here. I didn't see any questions come up. If anyone has anything to add to Q&A, please drop it in. Yeah, I don't know if you see that comment there about from Lindsay about enjoying your pacing and cadence. And Lindsay, I just want to add, that's one of the things with TLDC events and sessions, and sometimes speakers are kind of have to adjust to it, is that I like them to be a lot more relaxed because I've been working in this space for like 2 decades, and I've been in more webinars than I can count. And I always I never liked the rushed sort of just throw information at people types of webinars. I do like it to just be kind of a gathering of folks to chat and learn from one another. So I do love that comment of yours.
And that's
All
why I
right, so
stay for this long. It's very low key, it's very comfortable, and you learn a lot more.
right.
I learned a lot more here than I did over at other conferences that pay a lot more. That I would pay a lot more for. So we're getting an awesome community, getting a great deal. So if you know people who are in the industry, send them this way.
Thanks, Alan. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Here is a question from Nancy. Do you have any more information on why bullets are better than a table?
Okay. Why bullets are better than a table? If you can use bullets, go for it. Um, when using a table, you want to make sure that you have a header row and a header column, and your headers are clearly defined. And whatever data you put in the table matches with what's associated with the header. That's easy to do in Microsoft Word. The trouble is when we go to PDF. And if something's wrong with that table, the PDF will not translate that correctly. It will not tag that correctly. And with tables, you need to be as much as you can, very simple. Don't divide cells. Don't include blank columns. It has to be. There's a not special forming. There's a stricter formatting to making tables accessible versus bullet points. So ease of use.
Right. And I think bullets have just less of a digital footprint, right?
Mhm.
Because even behind the scenes, and if you're to create a table in HTML, you've got extra code that you have to drop in there, and potentially the spacing and the width of the columns and the rows and things like that, versus bullets, which is just a bullet. All right, let's see here.
Keep it easy.
Yeah, I'm taking a look. Mark that as answered. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions, and just reminded everybody, if anyone's looking for absolutely fantastic LXD, Alan is your man. Known him for years. He's amazing, and I'm so glad that he participates regularly with our community. And yeah, and with that, I think we're going to go ahead and close it out. Alan, thank you so much again for being a part of this event. Anytime that you interact with us here, I just enjoy it so much. The intro was fantastic. It actually created a level of discomfort that I didn't expect.
Right? I did
And
that. The first time I delivered this session was right after we started going back into the real world from COVID.
uh
And I was in a room and I went silent, let the thing hang for a little bit, and someone in the back says, "You're on mute," because we've been virtual for so long. I
yeah,
can't do that I can't do the same thing in person, but virtually I can.
that's awesome. Yeah, no, really, really good. Stick with that one. I hope that, are you going to be presenting at any conferences coming up? Are you going to be doing that at all?
Uh, nope,
Doing
not
DevLearn
yet.
or anything?
No, not yet.
No.
Soon. Yeah.
Okay, let me know. I would love to see you. I would actually make a special trip to go visit with you if you are doing any conferences.
All right. I'll
All
let the
right.
community know first.
Excellent. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. Next up, we have Leah Chang, who is from Vancouver, Canada, I believe. I think Vancouver. Oh, I might have that wrong, but Leah is going to be coming in with ACK. My accessible SCORM isn't working in my LMS. If any of you have seen Leah's sessions here at TLDC in the past, she's absolutely fantastic. She, I know, has been in other AIDCs and has created some incredible stuff with her team. So I'm looking forward to having Leah in the next session. And with that, I'm going to close everything out, and we'll see everyone in the next one. Thanks.